Hi knitters, welcome to episode 85 of the Knitty McPurly podcast. I am podcasting outside today. This is my front porch, so we'll see how long it lasts before kids come and start knocking at the door to see who can play. You can find me over on Instagram as Knitty McPurly. Subscribe here on YouTube, give it the thumbs up. Or if you want to email me, I am devin@knittymcpurly.com. It's summertime. It's so beautiful out here today. I thought I'm gonna give it a try. We'll see. I don't know how long it'll last, but we'll try it. It's Sunday again. Sunday is apparently my summer podcasting day. So I took like a little video of myself and I looked so tired that I went in and put on more makeup and I still look tired. That's just where we are right now. So it's been a super busy week. The kids and I were at VBS all week, Vacation Bible School, and I led crafts, which was a lot of fun. I had about 150 kids all morning, every day. And we did crafts, and it was really fun. I really liked it. I forgot how much I liked teaching, especially little ones. So that was nice. I came home and took a nap like every single day because I was so tired. But it was a big week of the summer. I'm glad we did it. Kids have been singing the songs and doing the dances all weekend. So it's been really fun. You might notice my earrings. I got these from Grayson Wood. If you go and get earrings from them, tell them that you found them out from me, and maybe they'll send me like a discount code to share. Wouldn't that be cool? Although I'm on their text list, and I usually get the text that says, hey, this is, on sale, come get it right now. And I just click. But anyway, these are my new ones. I think they're so cute. I don't know how they make these, but I think that they do make them. They're kind of like a little squishy. Anyway, super fun stuff. Go pick up an advent calendar pre-order if you haven't done that yet. Those will ship out this October. DK weight yarn comes with a mystery knit along, which as far as I know, other advent calendars do not. Bye. Go pick up an advent calendar pre-order on my website. The price will go up in the fall, so get one now at this price while you can. Inevitably, after everyone has knit the cool thing, I get, oh, are you gonna dye this yarn again? I am not going to dye it again. This is a one-time deal, so go get it now so that you're one of those people who has the thing instead of somebody who was wishing that they had the thing. This will get you 25 individual boxes that you get to open each day of Advent, each having 10 grams of DK weight yarn in fabulous colors that are hand dyed that all go together into this one project. So it's going to be really, really great. Just like last year, just like with the Lent calendar and last year's Advent calendar. Should be really fun. Okay, progress and shop news. My Hepburn sweater is coming out this week. By the way, how cute is this mug? I've now started buying mugs because I'm like, well, I need them for the podcast. Like it's a legit like business expense. But I thought this was so cute, and it's got a really pretty color inside. I got this from Hobby Lobby, and it's a little like fiber thing. Now I want to make that thing. I don't even know how you would make that. It's so easy. You can paint anything you want, but actually making it a 3D object out of fiber is sometimes more difficult. Anyway, the Hepburn sweater comes out this week. It was actually supposed to come out last week, but VBS threw a wrench into my entire life last week. Between doing that and napping and then swim practice at night, I got very little of anything else done. I spent yesterday like picking up the wreckage that was my home. So yeah, that's gonna come out this week. There will be a discount, so keep an eye out for that. That's not something that sells out. I'll have the discount up for probably a week or so. So if you are not signed up for my newsletter, go sign up for that because that has all the info on things like pattern releases and shop updates and whatnot. I'm gonna have pictures up as I'm talking, but the Hepburn sweater is a very, very basic fingering weight, fine knit that is a wardrobe staple. My testers did it all over the place. Some of them knit it extra long, some of them knit it cropped, some knit it with a turtleneck, some knit the crew neck option, some shortened the cuff. They did all sorts of things. So when you look at those, and some, they're in various stages of finishing, which is absolutely fine. The purpose of the test knit is to check the pattern and make sure that there are no mathematical errors in the pattern. So after I do my test and I write the pattern, it goes to the tech editor. Tech editor checks it all, fixes it all up, and then the test knitters have a go at it. And after that, it should be pretty good. Like, that's a lot of testing. So by the time you get it, it should be good, and you'll be able to get that this week with the discount. But yeah, they did so many great colors. Some people did neutrals, some people did brights. It's the kind of thing that you really would love to have in your wardrobe. I have in my mind some other things. Like I have more ideas than I have time. I still need to write up the pattern for the Everywhere sweater, which I hope to have out this fall. I have a lot of you who've already signed up to test knit that, but it has been backburnered because of the retreat and the advent calendars and everything else that comes up in life. So there's that, but I have other ideas. This morning at church, I was thinking, how cool would it be to knit some Our Lady of Guadalupe socks? Wouldn't that be awesome? If you're not Catholic, then that's fine. Maybe you're not interested in that. But I feel like Our Lady of Guadalupe, who, first of all, is a super amazing story, by the way. So St. Luke, like the St. Luke who wrote the Gospel of St. Luke, the Our Lady of Guadalupe started with him. That's where that started. And then when she appeared in 15 whatever it was in Mexico, that was the same image of Our Lady of Guadalupe that dates back to St. Luke. So I kind of feel like she has entered the popular culture, so that even if you weren't a Catholic or a Christian, that I feel like everyone would love a pair of Our Lady of Guadalupe socks. And wouldn't that be a fun color work to do? I'm trying to think how that would have to work. I don't love intarsia, so it would have to somehow be a repeating pattern that goes around the top of the sock. I'd have to think about that. That would be really cool though. Anyway, so I've got two sweaters in my head. I don't know. Things start there and they percolate, and they don't always trickle down into my hands and into my computer. So we'll see. Something that I wanted to mention, because I haven't talked about it since the retreat was in the thinking stages, because the retreat is now in the it's almost here stage. And I have people saying to me like, oh, I'd love to come to one of your retreats. And I thought, oh gosh, is that what this is? Maybe it is. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But the idea for the retreat began as a response to elitism in the knitting community, because the way retreats work now, at least the ones that I have been to or am aware of, is they're very, very expensive, and the regular proletariat, the regular knitters, pay a lot of money to come to these retreats, and then famous people are paid a lot of money. All of their airfare and food and expenses are covered. They are paid to come to these retreats. We regular knitters get to spend maybe a 3-hour class with these famous people. They don't really hang out with us. They don't sit with us at lunch, and it ends up being very expensive, where I just don't like that. Like, I would love to see retreats be different. And that was the thought that went into my retreat that is happening in January. As of right now, I think I have all but one spot currently filled, and I'm going through the wait list. So after I message somebody and say, do you want this spot? I give them a few days, and if I don't hear back from them, I go on to the next person. But if you want to go get on the wait list, I think there's 23 or 24 people on the wait list right now. But my original thinking in putting this retreat together was everyone pays, including myself. It's not free for anyone. The classes are taught by volunteers, people who volunteer to teach things. I'm going to teach. There's some other amazing crafters who are going to be teaching. There's going to be a marketplace, and anyone who's coming to the retreat who wants to set up in the marketplace can do that. It's just very kind of, I don't want to say low budget, because it's not. I mean, we're staying at an amazing place that has food and there are rooms for us to use, and it's going to be great. But things like setting up snacks in between classes and filling the cooler with ice, like I'm hoping people, and I know that they will, because this group of people is amazing, people will be able to help me out. And I can just say, hey, can you help me? Like, can we work together to get this done? I'm not being paid some, large amount of money. My travel's not covered. My room is not covered. I'm paying for that just like everyone is. And we all are going to pitch in and help out, and that's going to be really great. My husband will probably do a lot of that too, because he is a person who needs to do that. You know how some men are that way, and some women too, like they don't sit peacefully very well. Like they need to be busy, they need to be doing stuff. So it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. That is this January at Lake Junaluska in North Carolina, in case you're new. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I have been working on. Also, new in the shop is wool wash. I have shown this before, but that was when I was too afraid to release it. It took some time for me to get this in the shop, but I have it in 4-ounce bottles and 8-ounce bottles. I didn't bring one with me, but I have little packs of like a single-use sample that I am including with every $50 order. It does not include the advent calendars, because I do have a special scent of wool wash that will be coming with the advent calendar in a little sample. It's like a single use. This 4-ounce bottle is great for giving with a knitted gift. How many times do you give a knitted gift and you tell them, don't put it in the washing machine? But if you had a little bottle of wool wash to include with your gift, they'd be like, ooh, I have this to wash it in the sink, and maybe I actually will. And it comes with little directions. And it says on there, no suds, no rinse. You just dump it, a little bit of it in there with the water, swish it around, let your garment soak, squeeze it out, lay it flat to dry, and you're good to go. The bigger bottle is better for us knitters because we wash a lot more things. But these are available in the shop now. You can go get yours if you want to. My summer scent is Peony. So I have the hand balm left in this twisted up thing, which I love because you can just put it on and you don't have to, put your hand in the tin, which I like. I like both. I don't know. I have both in my purse and I use them both. But I am out of the 2-ounce tin. So I have the 1/2 ounce, what's this called? Tube, I guess. And I still have some lip balm left. But this is the summer scent. So when this runs out, I will not be making more of this scent. So if you like it and you want more of it, go get that now. I also have Murdog stickers and It Will Block Out stickers in stock. I had some people ask for enamel pins. That's a great idea. I love the idea of enamel pins. That's a big project though. And as you can see, I have a lot of big projects going on already. I don't know that unless I have a really large amount of people who would like these as enamel pins, I probably will not be doing that this year, maybe next year. I'm a big sticker person because I like to put stickers on my electronic devices. I have like cups, like the tumblers, I'll stick it on there because I don't put those in the dishwasher anyway. You can put these stickers in the dishwasher. Anyway, they're $2 over on the website if you want. I feel personally like stickers are more versatile than enamel pins because I have them on my car. Is it wrong that I kind of want to start a movement of merdogs on cars, like all over the US, where people go, wow, what is that? And they pull up real close to you and they go, what is that? Is that a mermaid unicorn dog knitting a hat? What? And they like Google it, mermaid dog knitting hat. What is that? What does that mean? It will block out. I don't get it. And they start Googling around to find it. And there's this whole network of us all around. I think we need that. Also, the much awaited from Jennifer Yun. I have these amazing leather, Italian leather scissor sleeves. She has the JY on the back for Jennifer Yun. These are available right now in 2 colors, and tomorrow, like if you're watching this today, they're available. If you're watching this tomorrow, they're probably sold out. You can go check. I have a very limited number. This was the color from the spring called Ochre, and it's kind of a deep, amazing yellow. And the color for summer is salmon, and it's just so gorgeous. It's a salmony pink that's just so beautiful. So go check if there are any of these left with the Devon scissors. So these are both Canadian makers. This is from Jennifer Yun. She's a Canadian leather worker. And these are from Kelmscott Designs, the Devon scissors, spelled differently from my name. These are spelled with an O, but these are crafted in Canada. This is like Small Business Central right here, which I just love. I'm blanking on her name right now. Gosh darn. Kelmscott Designs. I'm blanking on her name right now, but she supplies a lot of local yarn stores with her scissors. You'll find a lot of these in yarn stores, but the Devon scissors specifically, I don't know where else you can find those. I have them, other people, she doesn't sell them exclusively to me, she sells them to lots of people, but this design I have not seen anywhere else. I'm sure other people do have them though, but I am the only one from whom you can get this sleeve in this shape and in this color to coordinate with these scissors. So I just think that they are fabulous. You can get those right now over on the website. So that's progress and shop news. Now I need to open my iPad back up so I can figure out where I was. Okay, word of the week. You guys, I am coming to the point where I have discussed a lot of knitting words. I'm gonna have to branch out a little bit. Like last week I talked about beauty, and I feel like I can do that. I mean, it's my podcast, I can do whatever I want, but if you have a suggestion for a word of the week, by all means, send it to me. But today we're gonna talk about Angora and Mohair. I don't think we've talked about this before, have we? Because sometimes I'll see a word and I'm like, ooh, that's good. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I already talked about that. But today we're gonna talk about Angora and Mohair. Angora refers to the fiber that comes from the Angora rabbit. And I think, because I've known people who've had Angora rabbits, you don't have to like shave them, though that would be hilarious. Can you imagine like if you gave them like a poodle cut, you know, where you like left it fluffy on the top and then they were all slim? That would be hilarious. But you harvest the hair by just combing them. So Angora is very fine and very warm, and because of the properties of the wool, if we're calling it wool, the fiber from the Angora rabbit, yarn made with Angora tends to have a halo, a very soft kind of nose tickly fibers. So the word Angora derives ultimately from the place where this breed of rabbit originated, which is Ankara, Turkey. So Angora first appeared in English in the beginning of the 1810s, and at that time, it referred to both the fiber from the Angora rabbit and from the Angora goat, which also comes from Ankara, Turkey. So this was confusing, obviously, because they're very different fibers. The rabbit is very fine and soft and flyaway, but the hair from the Angora goat is long and shiny and not as soft. So to make matters worse, wool from Angora goats already had a name that had been established in English for hundreds of years, which is mohair. So some 19th century citations for Angora only compound the confusion. There is a book written by a guy named John Hayes called The Angora Goat, Its Origin, Culture, and Products. And this is from 1882, and I now super want to own this book. It's probably not in print, but I want it anyway. And this is a quote from the book. Mohair yarn is employed largely in Paris, Nismes, that's probably not how you say it if it's in French, Nîmes, I don't know, Lyon, in Germany, for the manufacture of laces, which are substituted for the silk lace fabrics of Valenciennes and I'm gonna say Chantilly because I live in Virginia and we have Chantilly here, like Chantilly lace, I guess. The shawls frequently spoken of as made of Angora wool are of a lace texture and do not correspond to the cashmere or Indian shawls. The shawls known as llama shawls are made of mohair. So that feels even more confusing. I'm still not exactly sure what they're talking about. It is confusing to many that the wool from the Angora rabbit is Angora, while the wool from the Angora goat is called mohair. But we might be able to blame that on the Italian cloth merchants. Mohair comes from the Arabic word mukhayyar, I'm guessing, which means choice. It's probable that the fabric sold by Arabic speakers to Italian cloth merchants was called mukhayyar to represent the quality of the cloth or the fiber used to make it choice. And assumed it was the name of the long, lustrous fiber used to make the fabric. So it was confused, interestingly, as so many words are at the time that they're entering the English language. It's so interesting how oftentimes they enter the spoken language first, and it's not until later when they enter the written language and it just becomes more a part of the culture that they kind of have a solid meaning. So Angora typically refers to the rabbit hair, and mohair comes into the language from the Arabic mukhayyar, meaning choice. Interesting. So that brings me to the topic of the week, and that is favorite fibers. I knit almost exclusively with wool, and when I say wool, I mean sheep wool. It's so universally available. Yarn is typically made from sheep wool. It has give to it. I know somebody, it would be a stretch to say that she's a friend, but I know a woman who wears a genuine fur coat. And she's an older lady, so I imagine she's had this coat for, 150 years. And she will swear by this fur coat, saying that in the winter, nothing keeps you warmer than a fur coat. And even in the summertime, you can wear a fur coat and never be too hot. And wool kind of has that quality. I mean, you can get too hot in wool, but it does kind of have that quality of being that natural fiber that keeps you warm in the winter, and you don't really get too hot in it in the summer. Now, the discomfort with wool comes if you start to sweat, because when it is wet, it can feel a little bit prickly. But I love knitting with wool. I think wool is just top of the heap, in my opinion. Leave a comment and tell me what your favorite fiber is to knit with and to wear, because there is a lot that goes into it too, because we talked before about silk and how that almost exclusively comes from China. You can find silk that didn't come from China, but that is really hard. The more I try and source things for my shop, this is what I've learned the more I try and source things. If you can't find where the thing came from, it came from China. It's like they don't want you to know that it came from there, which is suspect, isn't it? Like, doesn't that make you just want to be like, why? Like, what are you hiding? Are you hiding the slave labor? Is that what this is about? Because this is my hobby horse that I like to go off on with the slave labor in China. Like, I don't like to support that in any way. I try not to. That said, this adorable mug that I got from Hobby Lobby says on the bottom of it, made in China. So it's really hard to get away from it. But I'm trying in my shop not to have anything that was made in China. So that's why I don't stock silk yarn regularly. I did buy some not knowing, but I don't like to have that in my shop because that's where it comes from. Another fiber that's great to wear, especially in the summer, is cotton. Cotton can be problematic for knitters. This is my opinion. Feel free to have a different one and tell me what it is in the comments if you like. Cotton has no give. Like, if you pull on wool, there is a little bit of give. And so if you're knitting with cotton, your hands will ache over time. At least mine will. So that is one downside to that. I also feel that it doesn't wear super well. I don't know if the few times that I have knit with cotton, if I have chosen like a sub prime one, one that just isn't that great, but I found that it will pill and it will hang in a way that I don't like. I don't know, maybe I need to use a higher quality product. But one of the sweaters that I have in mind, I have it in mind in cotton, but I think I would need to do some careful sourcing to find cotton that acts the way that I want it to act. So there's that. Alpaca is a great fiber. Alpaca is one that stretches a lot after blocking, even more than wool. Wool, in my opinion, does not stretch nearly. Wool has kind of like, sheep wool has kind of the best of everything. Alpaca does stretch a lot, but it depends what you're making. Maybe you don't mind. Alpaca is crazy soft. I like it a lot. It's a little bit harder to come by than wool. And mohair and Angora. Mohair has had a resurgence. I even have mohair in my shop. Sometimes. I don't have any right now, but sometimes I do. But it has had a resurgence. Angora, a little bit less so. But yeah, tell me in the comments what your favorite fiber to work with is. If it's plain old boring sheep wool, you're in good company. Like it's not the most exotic or, interesting, I guess, as a talking point, but it is a great fiber. I do love working with it. Okay, knitting fantasies. So I did my typical search. I looked on Ravelry. I looked elsewhere. I went over to Etsy and I found a pattern designer who did not have a lot of patterns. I don't know if she's new or if these patterns have been around a long time or what, but I would love to support a small shop. So over on Etsy, she is called Another Knit, and I picked two of her designs that I liked a lot. One of them stood out to me as just a really, really cool knitting pattern. And this one is called Another Open Back Top. It's got a completely open back with a tie down at the bottom. I recognize that this is not for everybody, might not be your style, but I feel like it could go over like a dress with a strappy back or like something strappy in the back, or you don't have to wear it completely open. I feel like it would make a great dressy wardrobe piece. It has a little bit of puff in the sleeve and it's just really, really pretty. Comes in 10 sizes and it is worked in fingering weight. Definitely a would knit for me. Like, I don't have the time to knit this, but I absolutely would knit it and I absolutely would wear it because I think it is fabulous. And so in continuing to look in her shop, I found that she has an adorable cable knit vest. I am not a pale purple person, so I would knit it in a different color, but I think this is really pretty. She shows it by itself, but you could absolutely wear this as a layering piece. This comes in 5 sizes and is also in fingering weight. I find that large fingering weight objects, unless it's a shawl, because I don't know, with the shawl, I feel like you're changing colors and you're changing textures, and that kind of keeps it going. But if it is a basic stockinette knit, like my new pattern, the Hepburn Sweater, that's just not where my brain is right now. I have had periods of time where I am all over the large swaths of stockinette, but I'm just not there right now. But maybe you are. So anyway, go check her out on Etsy. Her patterns are reasonably priced. They are not free. I didn't look at all of them, but I think she only has 5 or 6 patterns. But go show her little shop some love and pick up 1 or 2 of her patterns. All right. That brings me to, so here's what happened. I do not have a story to share. Please send me your knitting story, a learning to knit story, or a time when you were making something and some crazy happening occurred and you want to tell about it. It doesn't have to be an earth-shattering story. It can just be something random that happened, or, you know, you can tell a story in such a way that it becomes a story, you know, like it takes a little bit of effort and fleshing it out and writing all the words. But if you read books, you'll find that this was just someone's life and they have embellished it to the point of it being an amazing story. So whether you want to do the embellishing or you would like me to embellish, which I clearly love to do, send it to me and I'd be happy to either read it as you wrote it or add in some embellishment. So any crazy, quirky, funny, adorable, heartwarming, tear-jerking knitting story that you would like to share, email it to me, devin@knittymcpurly.com, DEVIN. Send it to me, and I would love to share it on the podcast. I'm out right now, and this is a weekly podcast, so send me some. I think I'm going to have to do some deep diving back into my memory to come up with ones, because I've had this podcast since 2016, which I think is crazy. That's 6 years. So I think probably going back, I can come up with some good knitting stories. And I think that those early audio podcasts are no longer extant. I don't think they exist anywhere, because I used to have them hosted on SoundCloud, but I don't pay for that anymore. So I guess they are not around anymore, and I would love to revisit some of those topics. So I will if you don't. This will be the last one that I say I don't have anything. I'll have to come up with some on my own. But I love your stories more than mine. So send them in, and I would love to share them on the podcast. People tell me all the time that this is their favorite part, so we can't disappoint them. All right, the garage doors are opening, so I will cut it off here. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy your knitting. Go pick up an advent calendar. They ship out in October. It's going to be awesome. Join the bandwagon. All right, bye knitters.